A Russian satellite just parked itself next to a European military communications network. It stayed there for 3 weeks, watching, listening, recording every signal. And European defense officials say this has happened at least 17 times in the last 2 years. What Moscow is collecting could give them the power to shut down satellites whenever they want. And intelligence agencies now believe Russia is building a weapon that could take out hundreds of satellites in one shot. This is happening right now, and it's about to get serious. European security officials just broke their silence. According to bombshell reports in the Financial Times, Russian spacecraft have successfully intercepted communications from at least a dozen key European satellites. These aren't random civilian weather satellites. We're talking military command networks, government communications, critical infrastructure control systems, the kind of satellites that keep entire countries running. And the interceptions are happening over Europe, Africa, and the Middle East in real time. Moscow isn't just spying anymore. They're positioning themselves to take control. Meet the Hunters, Luch 1 and Luch 2, two Russian military spacecraft that have been shadowing Western satellites for years. Luch 2 alone has approached 17 separate satellites, creeping up close, hovering nearby for weeks at a time. And intelligence officials say it's conducting what they call signals intelligence operations. Translation: space espionage. The German military confirmed these Russian vehicles routinely drift within range of high-value Western satellites to intercept unencrypted data. And here's the terrifying part. Most of Europe's satellite command systems still run on old technology with zero encryption. That means the actual commands ground control sends to satellites. The instructions that keep them functioning and in orbit are completely exposed. Russia can intercept them, decode them, and copy them. A senior European official warned that Moscow may have already collected enough data to impersonate legitimate satellite operators. Think about that for a second. They could send fake commands that look completely real, disable thrusters, drain fuel, slowly push satellites out of position until they drift into useless orbits or collide with debris. And nobody would know it was an attack until it was too late. Germany's defense minister Boris Pistorius went public with the threat. He revealed that Russian Luch and Olymp surveillance satellites were actively shadowing Intelsat satellites used by Germany's armed forces. He said this pushed Germany dangerously close to real threat scenarios. Pistorius also made a chilling point. Both Russia and China have rapidly expanded their ability to disrupt, blind, manipulate, or destroy satellites. Space, he said, is no longer a peaceful domain. It's becoming a battlefield. Now here's where this gets even more dangerous. European security officials don't think Luch 1 or Luch 2 are armed with weapons right now. But the data they're gathering could enable devastating future attacks. Strikes launched from the ground or from other hidden spacecraft already in orbit. The intelligence collected by these shadow satellites is the blueprint for a coordinated takedown of entire satellite networks. And just recently, one of Russia's Luch reconnaissance satellites was mysteriously destroyed in a graveyard orbit, possibly from a collision with space debris. Was it an accident? Or was Russia testing something? Nobody knows. But it raises serious questions about what else Moscow has up there. But the real nightmare is what intelligence agencies just uncovered. Western intelligence from 2 NATO nations now suspects Russia is developing a zone-effect anti-satellite weapon. This isn't a missile. This isn't a laser. This weapon would release hundreds of thousands of tiny, high-density pellets into low Earth orbit. New space shrapnel designed to rip through satellites like a shotgun blast in zero gravity. The primary target? Starlink, Elon Musk's SpaceX satellite network that has become the backbone of Ukraine's military communications. Starlink powers battlefield coordination, drone operations, internet access for troops, everything Ukraine needs to fight back. Russia has openly declared that satellites supporting Ukraine are legitimate targets. And now, they might be building the weapon to act on that threat. Here's why this is so dangerous. This weapon wouldn't just destroy one satellite, it would create a massive debris cloud capable of disabling multiple satellites at once through sheer saturation. The pellets are reportedly just millimeters wide, almost impossible to detect or track. And once they're released, they don't stop. And now they stay in orbit, traveling at thousands of miles per hour, smashing into anything in their path. That includes military satellites, commercial networks, GPS systems, weather monitoring, communication infrastructure, even Russia's own satellites and China's. Analysts warn this could trigger a chain reaction of collisions that renders entire sections of space unusable for decades. It's called Kessler syndrome, and it's one of the most feared scenarios in space security. Some experts think Russia wouldn't actually use this weapon because the risks are too extreme. But here's the problem. Russia already proved they're willing to gamble with space. In November 2021, Moscow conducted an anti-satellite missile test and deliberately blew up one of its own defunct satellites. The explosion created at least 1,500 pieces of trackable debris and an unknown amount of smaller fragments. Astronauts on the International Space Station had to take emergency shelter as debris screamed past at orbital speeds. The United States and its allies condemned the test as reckless and dangerous. But Russia made its point. We can do this whenever we want. Now NATO intelligence believes Russia is considering something even bigger, a weapon that could take out many satellites in one strike, not just one. When Canadian Brigadier General Christopher Coates told the Associated Press the concept is not implausible, if Russia is willing to explore extreme systems, then something just short of that but equally damaging would not be shocking. The Kremlin hasn't commented, SpaceX hasn't publicly responded, but the threat is real, and it's being taken seriously at the highest levels of NATO and Western defense. What we're watching is the weaponization of space unfolding in real time. This isn't science fiction. This isn't decades away. This is active military strategy happening above our heads right now. Russia, the United States, and China are racing to control what military planners call the ultimate high ground. Satellites run everything in modern life: navigation, banking, internet, military operations, emergency services, weather forecasting. If satellites go down, civilization doesn't just pause, it collapses. And the terrifying reality is most of this is invisible. No explosions, no sirens, just silent spacecraft maneuvering closer, signals being stolen, vulnerabilities being mapped, and weapons being built in secret. So what comes next? Will Russia actually deploy this zone effect weapon? Will NATO and Europe finally upgrade and encrypt their satellite systems before it's too late? Will this shadow war stay hidden? Or will we wake up to breaking news that dozens of satellites have been destroyed overnight? Defense officials don't have answers yet, but they know one thing for certain. The next major conflict won't just be fought on land, at sea, or in the air. It will be fought in space. And the side that controls orbit controls everything. If this video just changed how you see what's happening above us, hit that like button hard and subscribe, because we're bringing you the defense and geopolitics stories nobody else will cover. Drop a comment right now. Do you think Russia will actually use this weapon? Or is this all just intimidation? What should NATO do next? And if you want to understand how hybrid warfare connects to all of this, we just dropped a deep dive video that breaks it all down. Link is in the description. The future of warfare is being written in space right now. Stay informed, stay ahead. I'll see you in the next one.